This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to make a catchy title and try and figure out how to make a thumbnail and see if I can't piss off every anime fan in the world. I'm not going to do any editing because it's still, I don't know how the fuck technology works, and I've kind of missed the curve in my life and I could have learned all that. So this is obviously about what is the best anime ever, because I hear a lot of people talk about that. And funnily enough, people will often reference their favorite anime and assert that that is the best anime ever made. And that's wrong. Just because you like Naruto and you watched it when you were a kid and it's nostalgic doesn't mean it's the best anime ever. Unfortunately, liking something, as I've talked about in other videos, doesn't correlate to its quality. And something doesn't necessarily have to be a perfect story to be the best thing. Very evident with the topic of this video, Dragon Ball Z. Now, before I get into why Dragon Ball Z is better than whatever fucked up animes in your head that you think is better, again, this isn't about writing. But I'm going to get into what people often will assert is the best anime. And this isn't about the best manga, because, as I've said before, I don't read manga. The answer's still the same, it's still Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's still the best manga, but, not Dragon Ball Super, but Dragon Ball, the original 42 volumes. The answer's still the same, it's just a different argument. My experience being with the anime, I can only talk about that because the music and stuff does add to the impact of it. But again, the argument for why it is the best is still very much the same. Okay, so what do a lot of people posit as being the best anime ever? Well, you got Hunter x Hunter, Attack on Titan, would be two popular ones, Death Note. I'm sure a lot of people say Cowboy Bebop or Ghost in the Shell. Some people might even say Fooly Cooly. Full Metal Alchemist, of course, is going to be on that list. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Any super, I guess some people would say One Piece, some people say Naruto, modern Dragon Ball, or modern anime fans would give modern things like Kimetsu no Yaiba. Some people might even say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But they are not. They are not. I don't think I was going to say Bleach. But they're not. Now, I'm not perfectly well versed with all of them. I've seen Death Note all the way through. Currently watching Attack on Titan. Obviously, I dropped Shippuden because Shippuden's a fucking god-awful piece of trash. Never got back into One Piece after Toonami dropped it. Kimetsu no Yaiba is too new, and it's kind of, I don't expect it to impact the world the same way that Dragon Ball did. And again, that's going to be the discussion for later, but yeah. I'm currently watching Kimetsu no Yaiba. Seen Bleach. Again, I don't think I was going to say that. Seen Fooly Cooly. I've seen Full Metal Alchemist. I actually dropped the original just because it got weird and confusing, but I did watch Brotherhood, which is the one I think most people are going to assert anyways. Never got super into Ghost in the Shell. I mean, I've watched it, but I've not seen all of its properties. I did watch all of Cowboy Bebop. What else did I say? I think I got them all. So I'm not just gonna kind of talk out of my ass. I know I'm not well versed in everything, but I know the basics of each thing. And that isn't even, you don't even need to know the entirety of a franchise to determine whether or not it's the best. And that's what I'm going to get into now. The reason that Dragon Ball is better, technically the Dragon Ball Z is the thing to talk about, but I use Dragon Ball just to cover it as a franchise. Dragon Ball Z is obviously the big anime that exploded all over the world, the Z portion. Not everyone went back to watch Dragon Ball, but I'll just reference it as Dragon Ball, because I feel like the whole bit of story from Pilaf to Buu, kind of, it's all interconnected, you know. The reason Dragon Ball is the best is because of its impact on the world. Now, I don't mean necessarily popularity, though that is a part of it. And there's a lot of factors, though this is, in my opinion, the most important factor, is that the world itself changed for Dragon Ball having existed. And there's only a few franchises in entertainment that you can say that for, like Star Wars or Star Trek, Doctor Who, my mind's blanking on stuff here. The Matrix, I don't fucking know. I'm not. But you get my point. Godzilla is a great example. Another example from Japan. The world itself changed for Dragon Ball having existed. And you can't say that about any other anime, really. Naruto is popular, people running around with headbands doing fucking hand signs and shit, sure. But with Dragon Ball, you hear so many stories about some kid was dying from cancer and he watched Dragon Ball Z. And watching a character struggle through pain and fight through it and try to survive and get stronger would always serve as an inspiration. There's countless stories like that, and countless people who are inspired to get in shape and get stronger and to face adversity, because that's what Dragon Ball's about, is facing adversity and improving oneself. And that, for that to impact someone's life in that way speaks volumes about how powerful it is as a franchise. But when it does that to so many people, it literally does affect the world. It literally changes the fucking world. It's impacted countless millions of people's lives at this point. Well, that's perhaps a little bit of an exaggeration. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know everyone who's ever seen it, but it's been a good chunk of the population of the world. And that does speak something. You know, you can talk about, well, One Piece is the most popular manga ever in Japan. Well, that's great, but that doesn't mean shit, because it might have impacted Japan, but it certainly hasn't impacted any other part of the world for having existed. Again, you might say Naruto was the most popular anime in the mid-2000s. Again, didn't impact the world. You might say Hunter x Hunter has perfect writing, and Dragon Ball has bad writing in a lot of places. Doesn't matter. It didn't impact the world. The world itself was not affected for any of these other franchises existing, or at least it's fair for me to say it was an impact on the same level. And then there's other factors to consider. No, Dragon Ball doesn't have perfect writing, but it does have good writing, and arguably better writing than other things in certain areas. It's also extremely popular. Popularity on its own does factor into this. What was I gonna say? Dragon Ball also served as the inspiration for the shonen genre, along with Fist of North Star. Those were the two kind of manga/anime that really sparked the whole thing, going into shit like Yu Yu Hakusho and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and that's the one I forgot about earlier, JoJo. All of that was kind of inspired by those two moving forward. You still see the impacts of it today. You know, if it's not for Dragon Ball, there is no Hunter x Hunter, there is no Naruto, there is no whatever the fuck. And I I feel like that is an important thing to consider in this. It's another factor. I'm not considering it a huge factor. Again, my big factor is how has this franchise impacted the world? You can point to so many things that are written better than Dragon Ball. Of course, Death Note's written much better. Attack on Titan's written better. Cowboy Bebop's written better. But that on its own doesn't mean it's a better thing. That's just one factor of a slew of factors to consider. And Dragon Ball never does anything. Well, that's not true. It doesn't. For any important factors, you're never gonna say that it does any of them bad. Does it handle certain concepts poorly? Sure. Do any characters ever die permanently? Not really. But also, you can only say that in retrospect. When you're going through it the first time, there is suspense. You don't know who's going to live and who's going to die. A lot of criticism that comes with Dragon Ball is people just rewatching it and going back through it again and again and again. And so they lose kind of that original immersion in the story, right? As opposed to when someone's going through something modern and they are immersed and they haven't gone through it so many times, so some of the factors haven't weared them down yet, right? So, yeah, you can pick at parts of Dragon Ball, but again, it's extremely popular for its flaws in its writing. It's still well written and competent in most places and most the important times. And again, it shaped the world for having existed. The world would be a different place if it didn't. In, determining that butterfly effect and how many things would be different at this point if it didn't exist, I can't make a hypothesis on how much the world would be different, but certainly anime would have never blown up in the West as much as it did. Most popular shonen anime wouldn't have existed if Dragon Ball didn't exist. The effects of it are just so grand and on another scale than any other anime or manga to come out of Japan. The only other thing in Japan that has affected the world as much as fucking Dragon Ball has is Godzilla. And as a franchise, Dragon Ball stands again toe-to-toe pretty much with Star Wars and Star Trek and any other big, massive franchise you want to point to. And that's why it is the best anime. It doesn't have to be your favorite, and just because something is your favorite anime doesn't mean it's the best. Dragon Ball Z is certainly my favorite anime, but I accept that it's not the most well written. Sure, I fucking think Cell and Buark are terrible. I can't even rewatch a lot of Dragon Ball because I find it just boring and drag on instead, but those critiques just don't matter when faced with its impact on the world, in my opinion. And I think that is the most important thing to consider. You can disagree with me, but you'll find it that you're very hard pressed to explain why Fullmetal Alchemist is better than Dragon Ball, because all you're going to do is sit here and talk about, well, writing. It's like, well, okay, writing. What else? What else do you have? How many people in the world have ever read or watched Fullmetal Alchemist? How many people have changed their life for having watched it? I'm sure if, you're missing an arm and a leg, you probably can relate to Edward Elric pretty well and get some inspiration out of him, but not everyone has those exact circumstances, but everyone's been in pain, and everyone's fought through pain. And in Dragon Ball, they kind of handle that struggle better than anyone else. So, yeah.